I was
What's up,
wondering.
everybody? How are you? This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Kevin Branzetti. And happy Wednesday. Let me just run down everything. You know, the show is sponsored by the Daily Arts of Survival magazine. Get that #1 magazine on Amazon. Martial Arts magazine, sponsored by Soft Illusions. She's back there working. Say hi, Malika. Hi. Reggie Wells Quality Speakers. $85, $75 if you mention Real Talk Chronicles. Albert Wilson, please support her restaurant. Leon Ellis, Chocolat, his restaurant. Ingram Taxes, we can't forget them, of course. My man Jacob and the crew. And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. Oh, Harlem Underground, Leon Ellis's clothing line, Harlem Underground. If you see on my profile, I think it's my profile, I had or from the brunch party, I had the Thelonious Monk shirt. That was from Harlem Underground. And of course, I can't forget the brunch party, the third Saturday of every month. Please come out there and join us and hang with us. With that being said and saying all that, let me ask my man, Kevin, how are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing well, Bill. I'm doing well. Good evening. We're like almost halfway through summer. It's going quick.
Yo, is that crazy, bro?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The way it goes. That's what summer is.
Yeah. What's up, Norm? Shout out to Norm. We were just chopping it up on him. We're definitely going to talk about what's happening in North Carolina. Some officers, white officers, resigned due to a black, I think, elected. Is he? I forgot. Is he the
town supervisor?
The new supervisor, and I guess certain people just resigned. I don't know what you want to call that. Do you think it's racism or not? What's up, Jacob? I see you, brother, in the building. So, what's your thoughts on that, Kev?
I'm going to do a little quick research on it. I read the one thing that was sent out. I can go either way on this until I know a little bit more. Could it be that they just resigned because the new person was anti-police, so they didn't want to work for that person?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the short of it is, what is it, a 6-person police department?
Yeah.
Do we really need a 6-person police department?
But you know what's so funny? Those are those suburban towns. You know what I'm saying, Kev? Like, you know, a lot of times people don't understand. A lot of times, you know, you may have the big city. I guess in North Carolina, the big city may be Charlotte or Raleigh or something like that. And I guess these little small towns, suburbs, have police precincts and stuff like that. Because I don't know where you live. Is the main precinct? Do they have a little adjacent precincts? You know, and a lot of these places only have like six officers. But you know, somebody comes in and change. And then people start resigning. You know, is it anti-police, or is it just I don't want to work for this person? I have no idea. But I just know you was comfortable before. You know,
I would be, you know, I guess be shocked if they would be that public in saying we're not working for a black woman. And we all quit.
So let me ask you a question.
Know, like, you're never going to get a job again. Like what? You know, like
yeah. Let me ask you a question with that. Do you think people are afraid to show their racism now? You know what I'm trying to say, Kev?
I'm always afraid a little.
Right, but I think with law enforcement, because I think right now people have gotten so liberal in the way they change laws that it's not conducive to do law enforcement. I think you and I can agree to that. But the thing is, I mean, I sent you a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you're able to show those things, those clips, like police officers getting water buckets thrown. I mean, water guns and all kind of stuff, and you know, officers are afraid to put their hands on people. Perps running away, and their friends are helping them out. Like, shit is just ridiculous, bro. And you know, I think people are really afraid to lose their job.
Is crazy,
huh?
Right? The transit one is crazy.
Oh man, listen, I don't know if you're able to show that. Those are things that I do want to show.
We're going to show
because,
that.
huh?
I said, yeah, we'll show that.
Yeah, because we need to show because how that wouldn't have happened on our watch. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe.
No.
Oh, you also see the PD guy just came later today. He got armed robbery gunpoint, and they took his gun.
Yeah,
From the cop in the Bronx.
I mean, like, do you? I don't know if that was a setup or if for them to pick him, because the bottom line is we all sometimes don't want to carry our guns all the time, bro.
You know? He had his gun,
and he still got robbed.
But I'm saying, like, look, I'm getting something on my back's turned. I'm getting something out of the car. Some guy walks up behind me, puts a gun to the back of my head.
Yeah,
you're kind of stuck, right? Like, there are very few people who can fight their way out of.
Listen, I don't care if you can fight either. I mean, and if you looked at that video, maybe we could show that one too. If you look at that video, he held his gun in a tactical way. Like he had the cop by one hand and had the gun chambered. You know what I'm saying? Like with his elbow bent. So reaction is not, and I'm, like I said, I'm a martial artist. There still wasn't anything you were going to do. But the biggest fear is that you're giving up your gun and being shot by your own gun.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about your gun going out here being used in the commission of a crime. I think people definitely would be like, "Oh my God!" Now the sad thing about that officer probably still might take a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope he doesn't.
If he was using, like, if he didn't have his gun, if you had your gun in a duffel bag, that kind of thing, right? You might take the hit. I can't see him taking a hit for that.
I hope he doesn't. Yeah.
But but it's funny that we immediately thought of, like, sadly, that's in our head of could be
because because that's from our era. Because the bottom line is we've seen the job punish us, punish people countless times for doing things. For things. Hey, Rochelle, I see you on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's on YouTube and Facebook. I think you always know what to do. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to it. If you're on Facebook, share it. That's Kevin Branzetti, and I'm Bill Forster. We're coming live on a Wednesday. You know the rundown. The first Monday of the month, Assemblyman Al Taylor. The second Monday of the month, Dr. Marilyn Corder. The third Monday of the month, the First Lady of Def Jam and Jazz. Right now, Allison Williams, she is doing her thing. She's feeling good. She's traveling. She's performing. And the fourth Monday of the month, I don't know what we're going to do yet. Malika and I have been talking about some stuff. We got some things we're mulling over, and we're going to show. So we're going to see what this is. Which one is this, Kev?
The cop getting robbed.
Okay, everybody, just
right.
Let me know your thoughts on this. All right, here we go.
All right. I mean, the cop's in his trunk. Guy pokes right up, puts the gun at him.
Yeah. But I wonder if he knew he was a cop. I'm trying to see.
Well, he does ask that question. Are you a cop?
Because he's searching this dude. Like he must have felt a gun or something, right?
Yeah.
Does he have a badge hanging from his neck?
No. I think it's just a mark on his jersey, on his shirt. He got lucky. I don't, Bill. I look, every incident's different. I can't tell you.
Really philosophize about it. There's no one.
What I wouldn't do, because you don't know what you're going to do until you're there, right? But man, that's a tough call. I would be more terrified that this guy's, once he gets my gun, that it's over for me.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't. We don't even know if this is a guy that he arrested before. We have no knowledge of anything.
Yeah, that's a tough move to give up your gun. I don't know if that might have been a close combat shootout where one hand you try to push his gun, the other hand you grab yours and just unleash.
Yeah, I don't think, like you said, I agree with you. I don't. Anybody that says they know what they would have did, they're lying. They've been watching too much TV. Yeah.
And even if you've been in that scenario before, you're still, you have some basis, but every scenario is different. There's no, how was he? How quick was the reaction? The gun's in his gut for a good chunk of this site, so that's a pretty easy what kind of gun, the crazy look in the person's eyes, all of those things matter, right? Like everything
Absolutely
makes a difference.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. That definitely was something to be fearful of, bro. It really is. Do you have any more videos? Because I want to show these people these videos that we've been sharing. Okay, good. Now this right here, this is the one in the train, Kev. Okay, yeah, everybody look at this one right here. This is crazy. And we're going to discuss this.
I realized I was muted. See, I'm saying that's how the guy got his head cut, I guess. The cop had his cuffs in his hand. But, this cop's putting up a good fight, right? The second cop who jumps in is kind of a little timid.
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but he's not really
timid. Yeah. At that point, Bill, I would have, my pepper spray would have went out and that would have been right in his mouth. I just would have.
Yeah. Can you play that again?
Yeah, I gotta. It's one bad thing about using the post is it goes
into the next thing. Yeah, I want to play this again because and let's dissect this. I mean, this officer is obviously. Go ahead.
What's your opinion on if this guy's girlfriend or sister, wherever she is, jumps in, right? She throws a couple.
She got a punch in the face.
Right. I got no issue if the male cop would have just turned in.
No, not at all. And I'm mad at I'm saying this with all due respect and affection. I'm mad at the female cop for letting her get that close. You know what I'm saying? Because if female cops mano a mano, rock out.
But this is part of the thing where where we have these issues on scenes of where there's an altercation and we're telling people back and people don't want to get back. This is why we need people at a distance. It is why we get aggressive with people to keep them at a distance, because we do not want them jumping on. And people get offended and get angry when we're at scenes like this and we're physically shoving people back, like, stay out of my space. It's tough business sometimes.
Yeah. Stefania said he and his ghetto ass girlfriend, the cop should have punched him in. Colin said this is when the taser or pepper should have been used on both of them. Roscoe said he should have went to the hospital. Her too. Absolutely. Like let's play this. Yeah, I mean, listen, bro. Come on. I think Roscoe, Norm, law enforcement that's here. Yeah, but this is when you
now. But in turn, Bill, if this cop, the male cop, would have got a real good punching, and hit her in the face and nose, and just you saw a splatter, there'd be people who would be angry.
Well, they just have to be angry, bro. Because the bottom line is, by this video, hold on, they would just have to be angry, Kevin. Because honestly, by this video, this is a person fighting back. Now, this cop, he didn't pull out his gun. He's going hand in hand with this dude. And I think he's, to be honest with you, from me fighting and looking at this from a fighting aspect and looking at it from a law enforcement standpoint, he's not really trying to wail out on this cat. He's really trying to arrest him.
He's trying to out-wrestle him.
That's what I'm trying to say. He's trying to out-wrestle him to arrest him. Everybody, I want you to understand me. He has the right to swing back. You can use force against force. So if this guy's punching him, he can punch him. Don't be delusional out there.
At this point, he could have used the taser, the mace, his asp or stick, and I mean hit him. You don't hold back at that point. So he could have, pummeled this guy. And when he got a little bit on top of him later on, that second cop could have threw a couple of really hard shots to the face.
Shout out to our brother. Let me just read some comments real quick. Stefani said all this happens and then they release him the next day without bail. Make it make sense. You know what's so funny? We're gonna have to show this to Al Taylor. I wish he was on the scene. Shout out to Richard Williams in the building, our brother. He said no disrespect to the female officer, but she was scared. Yo, Rich, I feel like she should have been throwing some knuckles, man. You really what's up, Lou? Lou says he agree.
But you know,
Rob,
in her defense, and like the third cop that eventually comes in here, it's tough today. You have that in the back of your head. If I do something perceived or is wrong, I'm doomed. And you start to fight caution, right? It's you're fighting
become tentative,
not to win. Yeah, and you can't fight like that. Fighting is to win. There's no other. There's only one way to fight.
Yeah,
she wasn't fighting to win. This cop was. The other cop who gets involved later on, he's not fighting to win either.
Listen, you know, to be honest with you, I don't even think the male cop was fighting to win. I think he was fighting to subdue. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because he's not. And what I mean by that is, when I've been in this kind of situation, I'm throwing punches, and I'm throwing punches to put you down. Right now, I'm not going to wait till you hit me to hit you back. And everything about this officer is reactive. You know what I'm saying? It's not proactive.
Yeah.
Play
His
it again.
tactics would work great if there's two other cops with him trying to wrestle the guy down, right? Then that's when you do it. But when you're one-on-one with somebody, he makes it.
And like Roscoe said, he said, not with this footage. Asses should have been waxed, period. Amir Sealy says,
I don't. Yeah.
No, Amir Sealy said, that is understandable, but there are scenarios where that does not happen and the officers on the scene still go hard. Well, Amir, you're going to have to show us on this one because I'm not disputing that because we have seen officers slam females for reasons unbeknown to us. And we're like, yo, come on, dude. Like, you didn't have to do that. I get that. But for this scenario that we're talking about right now, all hands on deck. I'm swinging. I'm trying to knock out fronts. That's what it is on this one. Richard also said he said he was supposed to knock his ass out and then arrest him. Roscoe said hands, feet, elbows, headbutts, etc. What's up, Cheryl? Good to see you in here. Roscoe said, nah, this was a clear and present danger caught on video. They had the right to bust that blunt, period. Paula says, I think the boy was fighting for his life. Who? What boy? That little young dude? I don't know if he was fighting for his life. I think he was fighting because he think he could have. Stefani said, did y'all also see what Alan Bragg had to say? No. What did he say about that? We don't. Norman asked what started it. We don't know what started this situation.
He jumped the turnstile. The cop was actually removing him. Wasn't even going to arrest him originally. Told me how to leave. Right? Couldn't be there. He had to go back out. You ain't paying?
Yeah.
Get out. So he gave him a chance. And the guy's now you're getting arrested, right? We gave you the chance to leave. You didn't, and now you're saying, and now it's on. I'm not being arrested.
Yeah,
all right, and that's this fight.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of the show tonight, and like I said, we're only with you for an hour, but we're talking about how officers now are feeling afraid to do their own jobs because I'm sure the other video that Kevin will show something similar to that. But Kevin, like, play this and let people see this again because this is ridiculous to me.
See, he's got his cuffs out, and I think that's where he catches him in the face and cuts him a little, which I got no problem with.
Yeah, but now look at this.
Now that girl comes in.
Now hold it. Now rewind it a little bit. Look how many punches this guy is thrown at this officer before this officer even retaliates. Rewind it, please.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please look at this in the RTC land. This guy has thrown maybe close to 8 to 10 punches already. And watch, hold on, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like those are weak ones at that point when he's falling backwards, but he's trying. You know, and then
but the bottom line,
he's still trying. He is still trying to throw right haymakers. If he catches one of those, this cop's in trouble. Yeah. I don't care the age of this kid. The kid's a decent sized kid.
Well, he's taller than the officer, and the bottom line is,
right?
if you punch somebody in the face, yo, there's no accuracy is permanent.
And now let's try to watch the female who's throwing punches. She throws a few. Right, so watch her. She comes and she starts. I mean, are they good punches? And she swings at the female cop.
That female cop should have tore her tail up. Look, he flips this dude. And listen, I'm saying this. Nobody's
there. He's in trouble. The cop's in trouble with that one.
Nobody's who is this dude? He's a cop. And look, he's telling the guy like to get off me. Listen, if you're fighting me, you're not going to have the ability to look to somebody else to see who else is helping me. Look, you're just going to be look at this. People are around.
At this point, wait, where is it? Right here. When the cop walks over, that should be right in this. Like, you got to throw a solid shot to him. You had either his face open. Oh shoot! Sorry. You had his face open, or you had his chest open, where you can maybe knock the wind out of him. Right there, like the cop in the lighter blue, the face mask cop.
Look, this is crazy. People are standing around watching this. What happened to the Good Samaritans? Like,
he's like trying to pick up this cop's trying to pick up a school fight. Like, he's got his hands softly in there, like, let's separate.
And she's still tussling with the girl. Like, help me understand this, everybody. You saw it yourself. I don't get it. I'm confused. I'm trying to figure it out because there's no way.
But I'll still go with, I get it. I mean, I get the cop being timid, right? Like, I get it. I disagree with it when your partner's fighting, right? When it's on, it's on. But I understand now that, like, they're just constantly being told about, you got to be careful. You can't touch him. You got to do this, you got to do that. But then on top of this, now let's look at this guy got out. And I have an issue with, and this is one of the changes that needs to exist, that resisting arrest.
Without bail?
So right now, his charges are theft of services for not paying the train. Right? The assault to the cop, if the cop doesn't have a real injury, there's no felony assault. Right? So that's a misdemeanor for the assault.
Assault,
resisting arrest.
Harassment,
yeah. The resisting arrest is a misdemeanor. So the resisting arrest one is the problem. I think resisting arrest should be up a grade from whatever the charge is. Right? If I'm arresting this kid, just as an example, for a robbery 2, a B felony or a C felony, why would they not fight? Because resisting arrest is just a misdemeanor. This guy is not doing more time for this. So why not fight and take the chance of getting away?
Well, see, I think right now the culture that we have out here today is that I'm not going to do time. I don't care about the police. So I'm just going to fight and do whatever I got to do. And it is what it is. So listen, let me just read some of these comments real quick. Shout out to everybody that's chiming in. Roscoe said these cops better realize that they are allowed to defend themselves. That's not abuse of authority. We as police shouldn't abuse people, but we are not there to be abused. Nah, man, nah. And Stefani said, mind you, this child has been arrested twice. One arrest, he was in possession of a gun. Please send me that information that Alvin Bragg said, because I'll have to get him back on it and talk about that. Richard Williams said, if you're worried about doing your job with your life on the line, quit and find another job. Norm Davis said, you don't hit women, but that itch should have been knocked out. Absolutely. Nobody's here co-signing hitting a woman. Nobody here. But listen, when I'm fighting somebody and you hit me in my face, listen, I see red and I'm just going to give it all I got. Mustafa said, what is wrong with the guy in the blue vest? He is trash. Amir said, I think these officers were trying not to be over the top. Amir, it seems like he's fighting to defend instead of fighting to fight. And I think anybody who's been in any kind of fight with your brother, your sister, not your sister, but your boy, or if you've been in any kind of formal fighting, you fight to fight. You don't, this is not point fighting. You're not fighting to get some rest. Right now, we don't know what this young man's mental is in fighting, but the bottom line is he's throwing punches, and that would have never happened. when I've shown this to other officers, the first thing they've said is what I've said, and everybody else, Roscoe, Norm, Rich, you, Kev, everybody said. They said, yo, they would have laid this cat out, or they would have tried. Listen, I feel it. Like, I'm mad. I don't even know what to say about this officer, this young officer, that he's fighting, but he's getting handled. What I'm saying, he's taking more of the, even though that man is bleeding, he's taking more of the punishment. You know what I'm saying? And then he's getting flipped. Like, just, yo, he's getting flipped around. Like, come on now. Like, this is ridiculous. Now, you're right.
It's not easy fighting somebody with adrenaline. All right. This kid is fighting with adrenaline. You know, somebody here mentioned he's fighting for his life. I don't think he's fighting for his life, but he is fighting for his freedom. And in his mind, there's a different level of, I'm going in to make an arrest. I'm looking to just cuff you. I'm very calm, and you're pumped. It's an unfair fight to start then. Like, that's, adrenaline is massive. Adrenaline changes the strength of everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, but you know what's so funny? Let me just say this for a person that's had this kind of scenario before on multiple occasions, when it's just one-on-one and nobody breaking it up. And I always tell anybody, you don't know a fight until nobody's there to break it up or help you. It's obvious, and I'm not trying to bash this female officer. She can't handle the female. So it's obvious. Look at this dude. This dude is fighting to win right now.
It is a good thing this cop got his arm under that.
Yo,
right?
it's a
chokehold.
Look at that. Look at that.
Right? When he gets this cop down, he's going to have him in a chokehold. But the cops, what is it? Left arm. If his left arm isn't there, this is over. Right?
Yo,
Speedy.
Yo, let me tell you something. but he's fighting the other dude like, yo, get out of here. Mind your business.
Yeah. I want to see something. What does he have on his belt? The mask cop.
He has a gun too. He has a gun. He has like he has an ass.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, like I told you, me definitely would have been maced there. Like that, I'm gonna drown you in that.
Yo, she's still playing with the other girl, yo. That kills me.
No, she couldn't take the other girl. She didn't get the other girl down. I wish there was a longer video of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Rich said this dude don't know how to restrain. They really need real training. I guess it's easier to shoot than restrain because that takes skill. Some don't have. My man Sam DJ Ace Rothstein, Ace in the building, DACE. He says, seeing that this is so, I've seen this so many times on IG. Punk like parents, these punk ass parents raising these fake thug kids. I have 2 sons, so I can say what's necessary. Total disrespect. And the neotype has a priors. Why is he out? Bail reform is the worst. Adams has to make moves ASAP with this necessary help. Stefania says, he said that the children should be treated as children in response to the backlash he receiving. Yo, Bragg, come on, man. I'm going to get you back on the show. Bragg needs to get it together immediately. Dana Richardson, what's up, niece? How are you? Richard said cops in London get 3 years training before going to work in the street without a gun. I guess they need it. Colin Clark said, okay, let's flip it. What would have been the outcome if the cops were white? Wow. Kev, you want to take that one?
I can't, like, look, if there was 2 different cops, there's 2 different outcomes, right? Like I don't think the color matters in this scenario. You know, maybe like I don't know. I don't know how race has anything. You know, if there were 2 bigger, stronger cops there who knew how to fight, right? If these 2 cops were trained properly in martial arts or something, you know, we'd have 2 people face planted into the hard
well
floor.
So I'm glad you said that. And let's play this one more time. And pause it when I say pause it. Let's pause it from a martial arts standpoint. I'm going to say what I think I would have been able to do or try to do, please. So, okay, here. It's obvious right here, right? But see, this is what I have a problem with. This officer is trying to muscle this young boy. He's not fighting back, right? Now, what happens to an elbow strike? From a martial arts standpoint, an elbow strike, a knee. Listen, I'm sweeping his legs. I'm doing something because I'm not taking all that blunt trauma to my face, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I mean, I'm saying that to be honest. Like, this dude is getting hit. What happens if one of those punches actually knock him down? And let me just be honest with a lot of people out here. When you're really fighting, this officer, I'm sure, is whelped up the next day. But the thing is, when adrenaline is flowing like that and you're getting hit, you're trying your damnedest not to go down because you're scared of what happens when you go down. Go ahead, play a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm also glad it's not on the platform.
Yeah, because they would have fell on the tracks.
How awful would it have been if that cop got tossed onto the track? He got tossed.
Yeah. All right, see right there, right? So hold it, pause it. When I had him in between those that turnstile, I'm going off because now I got my weight against him. Right there, I'm going off. Kid, listen, I'm swinging, I'm throwing everything in the kitchen sink, as they say, and I'm talking about even if you're not a formal fighter. Look at the female officer and the young girl over here playing ring around the playing holding hands and talking. Listen, she outweighs that little young girl. Grab her, slam
2 to
her.
1.
Yeah,
like she should have taken her and said, "Oh," and threw her. She should have went 10 feet. That she should have took that little girl and just chucked her, and then went to her.
Cheryl said, "I heard the boy previously at 49-year-old brutality." Norm said, "I had a few fights with suspects, some on duty, and most were when I took the badge off, and the best man wins." Absolutely. Stefani said, "All this over an MTA fair. Ridiculous." Yep, it is crazy. Hey, Kim Shear. Yeah. Rich said, "Sure, he's out with no bail on a gun charge. He's not worried about his freedom." Exactly. Curtis Oliver said, "Fight and flight. Your blood is circulating." Yep. Charles said, Bill's still playing with the other girl. Yeah, that's what he's doing. She playing with the other girl. Now play it. Go ahead. Because this getting me hot. You know?
Yeah, like that's a
look. This dude is throwing joints.
Yeah.
Look, now he flipped him. And he's this dude right here, after it's all said and done, and he has the audacity to push the other guy away, like, mind your business, kind of, sort of. This dude with the mask, why aren't you throwing punches? This is the time, and everybody, let me say this. This is the time when you can throw punches back. And Kevin, I think you're right. It goes back to the point of everybody's officers are scared to fight because they're afraid to lose their job. Look, she's still playing with the gun. Yeah, I had enough for that. Yeah. Let's go to the other. Let's go to the other one where the dude escapes and his boy helps him with that one too. Let me just read something. Paula said, "Only 16 years old. Freedom, life, same thing. The female cop needs to be ashamed of herself. We couldn't put that girl down to assist her partner." Absolutely. Rich said the officer should have just pulled his pants down, and they were already halfway down. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? A said it would have never had. It would have been hard not to pull out on these suckers. I think maybe that's where I think Colin was kind of going with it, because we've seen that before where other officers, and it would have been justified, because I'm sure if Kevin has that other video, we'll see that. But
what video are you talking about, Bill? I just looked through the text. I don't see another video.
I sent you the one where they're
trying to send WhatsApp.
Yes. You see the one where the guy is running, like they're trying to arrest him in the Bronx. It looks like the Bronx, and his boy comes to help him, and they just run away or something like that.
Yeah, I got to figure out a way to.
Yeah, I was trying to. I mean, I don't know how we can get a lot of those WhatsApp videos to the thing. I don't think I tried to email you, and I know unless they really make the headlines, it's hard to Google them or you know
Is
and
this a
show them.
friend sent you a video? Is this a?
Do you see it?
Yeah.
I'll send it to you again.
Did a friend send this to you, or did you? Or was this from the media?
Somebody sent it to me. Yeah. All these things I get firsthand. I don't know how they get them, but I get firsthand.
All right, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Email it.
Yo, Paul said if they were white officers, he would have been a dead duck. Yo, Richard, yo, Rich taking this shit.
Yeah.
Rich said, Kev, you been white too long. LOL. Stephania says, what do you mean Uncle Kevin is there? There would be backlash. Stephania says, and people would be in an uproar and demanding he stay locked up. Well, you know what's so funny?
But there's no the charges. There's nothing to keep him locked up on. Like as much as it bothers me. Right? Again, theft of service. It's a misdemeanor assault on the cop unless there's a real physical injury. And
well, I'm sure that cop the next day, after taking 8 punches to the face, he got some whelps. I'm sure.
Yeah, but whelps isn't. You gotta tear something, break something, right?
Really?
To make an assault. Yeah, for an assault. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought assault was a physical bruise or injury.
Assault is a physical bruise or injury. Assault 3, misdemeanor. If you want the assault, that's going to get you, jail time. You got to have an actual, because there's no weapon, right? There's no weapon.
No.
You need an actual injury. Like he's got to break a bone. That cop had to break a bone, dislocate his shoulder, tear his knee, need 5 stitches. Any one of those items would have gotten him to that felony. And at the felony, I would love to complain and bash, but really, that's the charges for this. My guess, because this kid was just arrested recently for a gunpoint robbery, is there's a chance he may have done one right before this, and that's why he's trying to escape. I would definitely be looking into the open robberies in that area and seeing if this young man fits it.
Norm said race should not matter with this one. What if the kid was white? He would have got it too. He would have got punched right in his mouth just like any ethnicity. Listen, I've always said you got to be an equal opportunity ass kicker. You know what I'm saying? You can't listen. You can't on this one right here. Definitely.
Yeah. Race, sex, none of it matters in this one.
Yeah. Roscoe said it's clear neither of them has ever had a straight fight before they joined the NYP. Bad move. Absolutely. Yo, Roscoe, I'm just being facetious now. I'm going to tell a little joke. Maybe sometimes you got to be like, yo, on the application or when you call a police officer, you got to find out, yo, how many fights have you had before to come on this job? And I'm not talking about with your brother or something like your cousin don't count. We're talking about some fists. We're talking about high school, grammar school, huh?
They won't hire you then.
I know.
Right? Like that's right. I have a friend of mine because he talked about having a fist fight with his brother. They failed him on the psych for that.
Yeah.
They don't want you. They want people, look, I don't know what today's, applicant investigation thing looks like in the psych. But when we did it, they wanted you to have no fights and you don't drink. So I was laughed at. I was laughed at before I became a cop. They taught me how to lie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No fights if I didn't drink.
You probably got extra credit for being an altar boy. Damn shit. Yo, what's up, Deb? Deborah Brown said, wrong in so many ways. Stefania said, I don't think cop knows how to fight. Sharon said, this is crazy. Stefania says, and the female cop, is she a decoration? Like, do something, girl. Absolutely. Obviously, after that day, she wouldn't have been my partner anymore. Roscoe said the kid was trying to injure the cop. So in the instance, all bets are off. Sharon says he did go down. The kid had him in a headlock. then the teen is released. Absolutely. I'm sure everybody. Deborah says, Bill, you are a martial artist champion. This officer obviously isn't. Yeah, and I get it, but that was something I did before I became on the job. That was my own personal thing. And that was something that just helped me with the job. So, but I still saying, like, even not to be a formal fighter, when does it come to a point where you're going to fight? I mean, let me just break this down real quick in a couple of 2 minutes as I can. If you're a New York City child and you become a police officer, the one thing, depending on your age, your parents always taught you not to be a punk. Don't let nobody take anything from you in school. Don't do this. Don't let nobody bully you. Don't do that. Just because you're not a formal fighter doesn't mean you still are going to let somebody do something to you. Anybody here that's listening, correct me if I'm wrong. Your parents told you, don't do that. Don't let nobody do that. Don't come home and tell me somebody took something. Don't come home and tell me that you had a fight and you got bullied and you didn't fight back. So all I'm trying to say in lieu of this topic that we're talking about right now is that young man was fighting to not lose his job, in my estimation. He wasn't trying to fight back to win. Once you punch me in my face, and once you show me that you want to fight me, I'm not even thinking about the job right now. My whole thing is like, yo, you hit me in my face. This is my money maker right here. It's on. You know what I'm trying to say, everybody? Correct me if you think I'm wrong, or not correct me if you think I'm wrong. Just tell me what you're feeling on that. Because you slap me, hit me, punch me, all bets is off. The footage is now, it's going to go viral, is that, yo, Officer Foster, you shouldn't have hit me. And I'm excluding martial arts. I'm really being honest. I'm excluding martial arts. I'm repping Riverside Drive, Harlem. I'm swinging. I'm repping the Fosters, whatever you want to say. I'm repping 141st Street. I'm giving that person the business. Richard said she should have cuffed the girl and then helped her partner. Yeah, exactly. Sharon Klesko, she said, what if he had taken the officer's gun? Exactly. Cheryl White said, all is fluids and breathing on each other. Can you say COVID and monkeypox? Exactly. Norman Davis said, this is a different times we live in. Everyone was standing around videotaping instead of the helping. And you listen, she quiet kept after it was all over. I might have been slapping phones against walls and knocking them out of people's hands. I'd have been so mad and hot. Hell, yeah, they had to take me someplace to give me a drink, because it would have been on. It still would have been on. Because anybody that's had a fight, yo, after it's over, you still adrenaline rush. You still talking about, let me at him. Paula says, stop it, gangster. We know you would have annihilated him.
Okay. Richard said, because of his age, it's transferred the family court. Yeah, even his robbery case, right? They changed those ages where it used to be 16. We treated you as an adult. They changed that to 18.
Yeah, Richard said blood was drawn. Collins said he was probably out on disability, claiming he was hurt on the job. He'll be out for a long time. Yep. Yeah, he's going to be home chilling. He might be watching the podcast now. Let me stop. Let me stop. Rochelle said, stop it, bro. Yo, Norman said if the suspect was out of jail on bail, then his bail should have been revoked for the lack of respect. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Duke it out 2022. Absolutely. Stefania said, do they teach cops how to fight? Nope. Like his actual fight? Absolutely not. They had a little thing like that, and one cop got hurt, I remember. And then they wanted to get rid of the little boxing sessions that they had and the stuff. Colin said, my parents always told us, whenever you're in a fight with another male and you're getting your ass whipped, that's when you go for the nutsack and you will be the winner. Absolutely, Colin. Rochelle said, my Harlem DNA would have kicked in birthright. That's what I'm saying, Rochelle. Roscoe said, 100% New York rule. No BS, no bitch asses, LO. Exactly. Paula said, no, you would have absolutely, no, you're absolutely right, Bill. Hit me in my face, you might as well kill me, because that's what I'm going to do to you. Yo, that's what I'm trying to say, everybody. Yo, you saw how many punches that dude was taking? Listen. I'm not thinking about anything now, but yo, it's personal. It's personal. When you fight me, it's personal. I don't want to hear about you trying to get away. It's personal. Stefani said, times have changed so terribly. There is no respect for law enforcement whatsoever. This is scary. Stefani said, Kevin, that's what Bragg is being, Kevin Brazetti, that's why Bragg is being dragged. Yeah. Paula, you say, yeah, I ain't right. Hilarious. Yeah, you know it. Listen, I try to keep it 100 with you all the time. Real talk. Let me see what Kev got for this. Which one is this, Kev?
No, it's the same case. I just like this is his, after.
Let's see.
Right, that's him afterwards.
Yo.
This is in family court, right? But at the end of the family court hearing, he asked, "Am I allowed to press charges?" Yeah. He wanted to press charges against the cop. Like, it kind of.
See, this is where the world has gotten so ridiculous. It really is. It's ridiculous right now. I mean, yo, everybody. I wish we could find those other videos and wish we could find them online.
I'm not
saying
they're just huge. They're
yeah, I know that's the whole thing because the bottom line is
half a G. It's killing me.
I'm just saying that it's so funny that, like I said, every retired officer is in uproar from what they see. Like I send it to some other officers, and they're like, "Yo, I can't even watch this. This is disgraceful." Yeah, exactly. He said, "One world order coming, curfews and etc." Yep. Roscoe said he should have still been in the hospital, cuffed to the bed. Roscoe, during our time, what they would call that a blanket party, right? A turban party. Yeah, Paula, like you said, press charges, absurd. Paula said, yeah. I mean, everybody, listen.
That's how delusional this kid is. Of what he thinks the world is right now. Like, I can press charges.
And listen, I'm going to reach out to Alvin. If you're saying, now I got to call him Alvin. He's my man, but I got to call him Alvin. Like, yo, are you saying treat a child like a child? What?
But he look. There's things with the prosecutor's offices here bother me greatly. There's nothing Bragg can do with this. It's not his case. It's family court.
I understand.
It's family court. It's a done deal. This is the law.
Okay, Kevin, and I know you know this, but if without divulging too much, but give me some insight if you can. He's the man.
Yep.
Like any commissioner, any president of a union, anybody, CEO, when things happen, he still can say, I know it's not his personal case, because I mean, that might be a conflict of interest. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he still can say, dude, still should be arrested, right? I mean, he could say that.
He can say what he wants. He could say, look, the law says, and this is what Adam said, right? More or less, right? Adam said, like, this is ridiculous. This is why we're the laughing stock with these laws, right? So Adam said the right thing. This guy, I'm with you, Bill. He could have said.
That's all I'm trying to say.
It looks awful. You see Colin's response? I can't even read it.
Maybe Trump is finally right when he said yesterday that there is no law and order. Don't say that, Colin. Don't call his name, Lord, because he's a problem. Paula said, "What about the bishop that got robbed at the pulpit of $1 million?" Malika sent that to me. We was like, "Come on now, what is going on here?" Like, yo, you in church and you preaching the sermon, and cats come in and rob you? Like, what is listen? Can we say real purge? Like, this is real. Oh, you stupid. Yo, how did you get that in your house? Who brought that in there?
No,
oh my God.
Somebody gave this to me just this weekend. And I said, I'm just going to save it for the show. And if it comes up the right time.
America will never be a socialist country.
Oh my God. Everybody, that's real talk right there. That's Kevin.
We have to have props.
Yo, listen. But you know what's so funny? Dude has talked a mean game, and all he did is make cops feel like they could do whatever they want to do. I mean, for those that don't know, a lot of times Kevin and I and Rich, Chuck, along with anybody else, we share information with each other. Sometimes we hope, we look for it. And thank you all. I really do mean this. Thank you all that send me information countless times, day, night. I really appreciate it because it's content for the show. It's obviously the other ones that we don't have, we can't show because we don't know how to get it from the WhatsApp or the text message to the email. It's complicated even for geniuses like ourselves. At least but that, oh, look at, yeah, that shit. Yeah, Elf, you got the man Elf. You got my man Will Farrell in the building. He's in the building.
Yeah, a lot of people commenting about the pastor in Brooklyn with the $1 million theft.
Well, listen, it's obviously everybody knows Eric, and it still ain't stopping anybody from robbing you. So, like his one of his staff members was out there doing a advance on some kind of property or something. And what was he, in Queens or Rockaway or somewhere? And the dude robbed him, and he was like, "Yo, you don't want to do this." He was in Staten Island, I think. And he was like, "You don't want to do this." The dude was like, "Yeah, all right, give me the phone. I'll tell him I got your shit." You know what I'm saying? Now, tell Eric to call me on the hotline. I got you, money. Paula said, "What about?" Oh yeah, okay. Norman said, "Retired officers are from the old school. These new officers are scared of losing their jobs." Yeah, man. But you know what's so funny? I guess it's muscle, and I'm gonna use this word, muscle memory. I don't know if it really sits with it. People, I think they're still just afraid that they're going to lose their job. They're going to lose their job. It's so like when we came on the job, Kevin and I was taught, if you pull out your gun, you better sure damn have a good reason to use it. But we knew that. So we probably would rather break your jaw, right, Roscoe? I mean, we're going to hit you with our hands until the wheels fall off, B. Listen, pulling a gun out was the last resort, like knuckle up. Oh, like I felt like that was an insult to me. To throw your hands up against me. I was like, oh, wow. Like I get to really fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not that I was looking for it, but I'm like, listen, if I got to fight, I got to fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Paula said he's actually, he's a friend. Yeah. Stefani said he was a scammer before he became a pastor. I guess people was coming back after him. Paula said Kevin scandalous. Rich said you got rid of the leprechaun, Kev. Nah, he still got him. He still had him.
I just got more toys. That's all.
Yeah, he got more toys. Stefani said, "What pastor wears $400,000 in jewelry while delivering a sermon?" And the person in there talking about, "I'm poor. I can't pay my rent." You're probably right, Stefania. Can you say set up? Yeah, I think you're right. Samantha, what's going on? Copy and paste the link. It's not a link though, Samantha. It's a video from WhatsApp. I don't know if you can copy and paste a WhatsApp video. Can you, Kev?
I was able to do it. I sent it to my email. I'm just saying it's already been a few minutes. It hasn't come through.
Right.
It's just it's a large video. It just won't come through.
Yeah. Sharon said that his jury was supposed to be worth $1 million. Colin said the pastor ran from Brooklyn Borough. He ran for Brooklyn Borough president last November. Oh, well, no, we don't want him. Shout out to Brooklyn. Don't get that guy. Rochelle said Stefania craziness. He's lucky they didn't shoot up the place at him. Roscoe said lose your job or you lose your or your life choice. Fist fly best. No deadly physical force. I don't need to use a gun. Absolutely, man. Everybody, this is Real Talk. I don't know what to say. It's almost like
it's so surprising they didn't use anything but their hands, right? Like, so that's 3 cops. I get the first cop, him not pulling out his taser. There's no time. He's in it. It's over. But like it's his hands. And he tries a lot to throw some punches in there, get some shots in. I'm with you on when he had him at the turnstile. He should have. That's when you got the guy in the ropes in the corner, right? You lay into him.
Yeah,
but
I mean, just even if you don't want to, like, like use your fist, use your muscle, pick them up and body slam them or something, man. Like I just couldn't see taking all that a punishment and you're not retaliating. That's all I'm just trying to say in a nutshell.
It's elbows, it's punches, it's knees. I'm eating your groin. I don't care. Like,
I'm biting. I'm doing all that. Listen. When I see that L, like it's like Hangman. When I see that LOS, the loss coming up, I'm trying to stop that horse, spelling out loss, or losing. I'm not. Listen, I'm stopping it at the L. I'm retaliating. I'm cutting this game short. I'm biting. I'm pushing. I'm kicking. Listen, I'll take all the rabies shots and tetanus shots. I will have to.
I don't know if I'm biting, Bill, but I'm with you.
Listen, I'm not biting. I'd probably bite if he was good for my gun. I'd bite him. You know what I'm saying?
It's not off the table forever, right? Like biting's not off.
Listen.
Right? If I'm being choked and the only thing I can do is bite you, I'm taking skin, right?
Listen.
I'm doing the only thing I can do is stick my finger into your eye socket. I'm sticking my finger in your eye socket. Like
easy one. Plug to the eye, B. Listen.
Yeah. There's no body part off limits.
It takes 8 pounds, like Colin said earlier. Nutsack Central, baby. I'm hitting him. I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing gentle. Listen, it is what it is, bro. Roscoe said I was at UC always dolo in the PJs. That's what I'm saying, Roscoe. We've been there. You know what I'm saying?
Now let's picture this fight and think about this, right? So that third cop comes in, and then shortly after this, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 15th, right? Like that was the advantage we always had. Our colleagues in the suburbs, in other states where there is no backup and you're in that kind of fight, right?
Yeah.
At times where it does become your gun.
Yeah. Well, so funny.
It's a different mentality. I always knew, Bill, somebody was coming. I just had to make sure I held on, kept the guy, as long as I kept the ball somewhere, like wrestle with him and just keep holding, made sure my gun was secure. I knew somebody was coming. And that's a different fight.
Yeah.
That's not the cop who's standing by himself in the middle of the night at his trunk, and if he starts to fight with that guy, like you're on your own. Like,
well, I mean, let's be perfectly clear here. There's a time to fight and not fight. Now, the bottom line is, we've always taught we got the biggest gang in the world, so we don't have to fight by ourselves. So that's why we got that radio. That radio was more important than anything to us because we'd be like, yo, 85, 4th whip, keep them coming, 10-13, whatever it is that's going to bring the cavalry. So, like when we talk about these suburban towns and officers engage and then think somebody is going to put it. But then the thing is, we've seen there's a video out there of a white officer wrestling a black guy on the car stop and shoots him in the back of his head. So, I mean, like wrestling.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
Bill, you and I said it 100 times. We need to have cops trained. The academy should be 3 more months, and that 3 more months is all jiu-jitsu, or we can pick whatever form we want.
I don't care, whatever, boxing, I don't care what, listen, kicking, whatever thing that's going to keep the officer safe, that we can de-escalate, because the bottom line is, from being an expert witness, when you go to court and somebody says, officer, just like Stefania asked, do they train officers how to fight? See, now, just like we can go to court and they'll bring the experts and say officers are trained tactically how to shoot, blah, 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 whatever. When you go to court and say, yo, you've been trained for 3 months how to fight, why did you use your gun? What does a person say then after that? You understand what I'm saying? See, this officer will honestly say, I haven't been trained to fight. I haven't. But that doesn't mean you're supposed to take them punches to the face. But see,
like a 1-hour boxing class.
Exactly. Roscoe said rules of engagement. Don't start a situation you can't handle. The job is business, not personal. Absolutely. I say all that to say that I agree with you, Roscoe. And I say that to say, like I said, and I think that's what Colin's point when he asked that question, because like I said, and I'll reiterate it, we've seen people shoot unarmed people in wrestling, and then they made their gun the equalizer, which is unfair. And we can always go back to Jerry, who should have been shot, didn't get shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jerry should have shot. Well, I could also go back to naked white guy running at the cop, and the cop shot him. Right? Remember that one?
Yeah, but then he should have. He should have been
shot naked.
But no, I get it, but he shouldn't have been shot. But like I said, he shouldn't have been shot. But the thing is, you don't see those kind of scenarios more than you see the officer shooting the unarmed black person or the Latin person. So I know you're gonna always say about what you see and what the numbers say. You and Colin are 100% correct. Absolutely. You always say that, but the bottom line is we don't see that. So there should be an outcry of that white man getting shot and he was naked, and we obviously know if you're trying to fight butt naked, you definitely got some mental issues, because ain't nobody trying to fight with your jewels slinging from the right to the left. It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Because if we're rolling at that point, I'm gonna
that's it.
I'm like, I'm gonna put him in a knot.
Grab him, squeeze him. That's exactly. Let me tell you, we're gonna stop all that. So this is what it is. This is how it's going. We need to get this thing together. We're gonna keep trying, but like I said, everybody, I don't know. Nobody's coming to me asking me these questions, and honestly, I don't think nobody's, and Kevin and I don't think they answering our phone calls right now either. So, but like I said. I mean, I really don't, because the bottom line is this is absurd. This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
No. Look, it doesn't even sound politically correct today to say, well, we're going to teach cops how to fight. Right? Like, a lot of people are going to go, what do you mean we're teaching them how to fight? It'll make it worse, because then the cops will know how to break your arm. Yeah.
Well, this is what I tell people all the time. Rather a broken arm than a dead person. You know what I'm trying to say?
That's it.
I'd rather
the answer.
I'd rather an officer be able to know how to hurt a person physically than not physically kill them. You know what I'm saying? Let's just meet force with force. If you swing at me, I can break your jaw. You know what I'm saying? Because the bottom line is, think about this. Now, you said something early in the show that makes a great point. Say that officer was able to duck that punch and then hit him with his solid right hand or left hand and broke his jaw. Everybody be like, oh, the officer broke his jaw. Now, everybody that has some common sense, some people would have said that, not all. Some people would have said, listen, dude deserved it. Because if you would have saw that officer getting all them punches, because think about this. Imagine if the role was reversed. Imagine if the officer was the one with all that blood on his face, because it's obviously the guy got cut probably from the cuffs, because he didn't get cut from punches, because the officer wasn't punching him, so he got cut from the cuff probably.
Yes. If early in that fight the cop knocked him out, they would be protesting against the cop.
What'd you say? I was reading
early in that fight, that cop would have knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been my kid. This adult cop knocked out my kid, and there would be a lawsuit against the city. This cop would be sitting on a desk somewhere. All right.
Yeah, listen, I get it.
Vilified. But that's the things we always have to have in mind when you watch these things, when you watch incidents with cops. We don't know who we're arresting. We don't know who we're going to get into a fight with. And it's usually the person you don't expect puts up the best fight. Right? Yeah. I remember a couple of really big dudes that I stopped by myself. Like, I remember one very specific, and the guy looked at me, he flexed. This guy did like 20 years in jail. He was a freaking monster. He could have been a wrestler. And he looked at me, he flexed, And then he turned around and put his hands behind his back, and I was just like, whoo, whoo, you know, right? Like I wasn't fighting him with my hands; weapons were coming out. Like he would have stepped closer. It was, it wasn't a fair fight.
So when you say weapons, what weapons would have came out? You would have popped them, Kev?
Well, I was always mace. I always maced people. Like it was the first thing I did was mace. All right, like I liked having you choke and spitting up phlegm. You can't fight well when you're choking and spitting up phlegm.
No. Let me tell you something. I don't know, the mace back in our day, that shit was good because let me tell you something. If it got on anybody else's uniform or hands, actually, you had about 5 officers coughing and gagging. You really did,
Yeah, I was very in it. Like, so the scenario with this one, right? The guy on the floor. If I was that second cop who came over, yeah, we always taught like don't mace in front of other cops because you get everybody. No, that would be like the spray cap would be in the guy's teeth, right? I would spray right down his throat, right? Like it's not like I'm not spraying from here, so everybody like that's in his mouth and just.
I was just thinking of a story. 2 officers, friends of mine. We was like, where are they? They up there wrestling with this dude. They macing themselves. I was like, oh my God. It was like a Keystone Cops moment. Yo, Rich said, yo, you wrong, Kev. Tell him, Rich, what you was talking about. He wrong at. I don't know what he did. Paula said, can't no parent back their child up that assaulted a cop that they hit first. As a child, once you want to act like an adult, you get your ass whooped like an adult. Absolutely. Rich said, I don't like when you try to make it like either shot them or choke them or nothing. Shot them or choke them or nothing at all. And when I say them, I mean people of color. He talking to you, Kev.
I don't know. Did I ever say shoot him or choke him?
What's he talking about, Rich? What do you mean?
I don't think I ever said your choice is to shoot him or choke him. I don't think. And if it came out that way, I'm sorry, but that's not. I don't remember saying that.
Yo, Roscoe, you right. He would have said, "You right, Bill." They would have said the cop was wrong and abused his authority. Look how big the cop was to him, etc. Yeah, exactly, man. Listen, check this out, Roscoe. You and I know you can't win in today's society. If you're taller, you're a bully. If you're bigger, you're stronger, you're a bully. So listen, young dude, I don't know how these guys looking like they're like 6 feet, 6'3", whatever. I don't know the heights. I don't know. They look tall. It's obvious that cop looks a little brolic. He should look strong enough, but he was getting manhandled by this dude. So it obviously tells you that, I mean, I don't even know what he would have said when he got back at the precinct. He would have said, well, I didn't want to hurt him. Well, you should have hurt him, B. Don't tell me what you don't want to do. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're supposed to hurt that. Listen, because I'm sure every cop in the world would have put $1 in a kitty for you if you would have got suspended. Because the bottom line is, bro, that listen.
Yeah, but it is a nerve-wracking thing, Bill, that they're being taught different. Right?
I don't know. I agree that there lies a problem. And there lies a problem. I totally agree with you. There's no disputing that officers right now are afraid to do their job. And a lot of the officers that used to do their jobs are home relaxing. But then the bottom line is too, in lies the problems of how the officers in the past did their jobs get us to where we are. And that's why I said we talk about there's no middle ground. It's either blue or it's all red. Because there has to be a happy median. I mean, Kevin, no, hell no, not that dude. Not that Bo Weasel. You know what I'm saying? Rich said doing the job the right way is the best way.
Very, very large brain.
Listen. That cat.
I'm just saving this bill for every broadcast. If you bring up his name, I'm bringing out the pen. If you don't, it stays in the drawer.
Yeah, well, listen, you can keep that little punk out because the bottom line is, if he gets back in office, people of color think they got problems with officers shooting. What? Everybody's gonna feel because he's gonna say. What'd you say?
Yeah, I said if he gets back in office, there's one person to blame. That's Biden.
No, if he gets back in office, it'll blame all them damn crazy people that voted for his ass. Because let me tell you something. Listen,
gas starts going up to $6 and $7 a gallon here. I vote for anybody. I'm voting for this guy.
Well, do you think are you stupid? Do you think that's Biden's fault?
Yeah.
Why?
100%.
Why?
I told them we're at 8:13. That's another show, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Don't say yeah and then okay.
It's a good teaser, bro. That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna come back to that. Let me just read some comments.
100%. I think it's his fault, and I do have a reason why, and I have several.
Okay, I can't. My man Eddie Vieira said, "I can't believe the fight was with the officer. No regard, respect for the law. Kid was out of his mind. I could not take those punches without breaking his jaw after. Props to the PO's physical ability. Absolutely, yeah. He got a glass jaw. I mean, he got a strong jaw.
This was whatever amount of years ago as it turns out to be when you were 16 years old, and then you went home to your father. Are you taking another beating?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. I could have came home and told my father.
If I saw that was my kid. Like, what the?
I could not have came home and told my father I fought the officer because I jumped a turnstile. He'd be like, "What?" You know?
Yeah, and this like, you know, like, what would anybody out there do to their kid if this was their kid?
Yeah. Oh, Chuck is coming in for a second. Go ahead, Chuck. Look at Chucky. Chuck. What up, man?
There you go.
Where are the wolves?
Chuck,
No, brother, man. I'm so sorry, man. How y'all guys doing, brother?
good, man.
We're doing well.
I'm going
nice to see you.
I'm gonna go extra 15 minutes just for you because you in here, Chuck. Yo, Kev, do me a favor. Show Chuck that video that we was just talking about so he could just understand what
Chuck's
we
seen the
about.
video.
Which video is that? Because I know you sent me a couple of them, man. It was like two of them in particular. One with transit, the one that was in the Bronx.
The transit one. What you think about the transit one?
All right, so let's
hold on,
Chuck,
Chuck, we're gonna show it to you. Hold on, we're gonna show it to you.
So all right.
He's seen it. If you can talk while it's playing, Chuck.
All right. All right, let's be clear. This right there, once he swung, I'm sorry. He's getting a kneecap, a forearm to his fucking head. He's getting dropped to the fucking ground. He's going to taste asphalt. That's it. It's over. It's over. I'm sorry. People can say what they want, but look at this. I mean, and now it's in a dangerous situation. He's in a headlock. Thank God that kid's arm was up in between it because that kid pretty much dominated him at that particular point. But my other issue is right here. You see this other officer that's intervening? He should have been throwing haymakers. He should have been a part of
Chuck said that too.
It should have been Jeremy, speed knots, all that shit should have been incorporated at that point. But I don't understand it. Look, I'm sorry, man. That particular video, I'm sorry. And a lot of people said that sometimes police officers like brutality is a big issue. No. At this particular point, that police officer is the victim. And from what I read, he actually gave the kid an opportunity to leave, right? If I'm correct?
Yep, he did. He gave him a chance to leave. You jump the turnstile, just leave.
He said, look, just leave. But the cat said, F you or whatever. It's all right. Now, I'm sorry. I'm going to take you. At that point, it's game on. I'm sorry, man. There was no way that would have gone to the degree that kid and that female, I'm sorry. I don't know what kung fu or what school of method of thought she went to, but it must have been like maybe jumping jacks. I don't know. I'm just...
Yo, Chuck. I wish I could be an out-of-body experience and go into one officer for a day and just wreak havoc. Yo, the community would be like, yo, who's this man? RoboCop. He's crazy. Yo,
brother,
there's
no way, man. I'm not a brutal person. I don't look for any type of adversarial exchange. But if you bring it, I'm bringing the heat. I'm knocking you the fuck out. I'm sorry. That's old school.
Yo, look at this. Look at this. Yo, Chuck, look how many times? Right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
And
9, 10.
once he's pinned up against that turnstile, oh, it's game over. Because his back is up against the turnstile. I got you. You should have never backed up into the turnstile. Now right here, this is dangerous, man. Because his gun, his taser, everything is exposed. But little man is like, whoever, he's going for his. He's going for his. I'm going for mine. I'm going to grab his freaking drawers. I'm going to grab his balls. He's getting a whole bunch of handful of fucking knuckles. He's getting everything, man. I don't care what it is. It's game on at that point. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a violent person. But if you bring the fight to me, I'm sorry. I'm going home and you're going to have some speed knots when I'm done with you.
Yeah, that's what Roscoe said.
You caught it there, Chuck.
Everybody here, Colin, everybody, listen, I don't think there hasn't been anybody here. Amir kind of teetered. He was like, yo, he brought up some other things, and we get that. But listen, this cop, look at that picture right there. If that wasn't cause for going retard, and excuse me, I shouldn't say that, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about strength wise. I'm just talking about like brutal strength. Listen, I would have tried to push his head through that gate, yo. Listen, they would have been like, yo, Officer Foster's retarded. He's like, yo, he's crazy. He's losing.
But my man, like, but even when the other officer showed up, he wasn't much help either. Like, what was he doing? Like, he showed up. I think he was grabbing on. Like, he's not doing. Look, I'm sorry, sir. Stop, sir. Sir, stop, sir.
Yo, Chuck, you see the perp pushed his hands away. The young kid pushed his hands away, like, yo, mind your business.
Yeah. And he's still not engaged. Where's the other cop? Where is he?
So listen. After I was finished with
please,
this dude,
stop, sir. Sir, stop, sir. Sir, stop. Get your arm from around him, sir. That's what I see. That's what I see.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell this young kid could be looking. I don't know who this young. One Nation. There's no way in hell this kid would have been able to look at that officer and say, "Get off me." There's no get off me.
No. If I'm the responding officer, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be crude in any shape, form, or fashion. And please, the audience, understand this. We're talking about me being a police officer. I got a gun. I have a taser. All right. I'm engaging someone. And now at this particular point, so I think some people would look at it in the opposite vein that, this young man was fighting for his life or his existence. I'm sorry. That is not an indication of anyone fighting for their life or fighting for their existence. They're just a fucking knucklehead. And they have no respect for authority. When in fact he was afforded the opportunity, when he had already broken the law, he had jumped the turnstile, and the officer just told him to vacate the system. And he said very clearly, I'm not going anywhere. And that has a lot to do with, unfortunately, between bail reform and all this legislative incidents and issues that are occurring, that now you have emboldened to the point where you've emboldened perps, everyone, to say, hey, we don't really have to abide by the law, even if we're told very directly, and give it an opportunity to leave, which is what he was given. And then he wants to throw joints. At that point, I'm sorry. It's an equal playing field. And if my kung fu is better than yours, then so be it. I'm sorry. And if you end up with speed knots and eye jammies, look, it's no one's fault but your own at that point.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yo, listen, everything you said has been stated earlier. Let me just read some comments. Sarah said, our people do us dirty all the time. As a patrol officer, that would fight us in the office. As soon as NYPD warrant squad showed up to transport, they would get real quiet and put their head down. Absolutely. Roscoe said, F public opinion at this point. You're right. Colin said the good that will come out from this brawl is that this video will be used as a police training academy. Yeah, a sad one, Colin. I agree with you, Roscoe. He said, not on our watch. F out of here. You listen. There isn't any old school officer that I know, and I know some officers old school that are punks. They wouldn't have put up that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, they wouldn't have put up with that, yo. Listen, everybody, please understand. We I think one time at RTC, we keep it real, 100. We try to we go each scenario for what it's worth. This one right here, dude deserve get it. I don't even know if his family watching. I don't really care. You know, but I think right here, these 3 officers right here are the ones that are watching. Thank God your son didn't fight us like that back in the day.
Oh,
yeah, because what you would have saw was Detective Forster trying to mash his face through that gate. I swear, because the bottom line is, and then what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're a badass kid, yo.
But not only that, Bill. Not only that. When you called that 13 or 85, it was the other cats that was coming that I'll be more afraid of, because they coming in bringing hell, man. They bringing rain and fire. Those are the cats I'm gonna have to stop, because they just gonna lose. They're gonna lose it. You gotta go. No. Okay, let's stop, because they're coming in hot and heavy.
And you said something so right. And this is the one thing that I do know, and you're factual on this. If officers, white officers, or any officers, and I'm gonna have to say white officers, Kevin, saw me swinging on somebody, you knew they were like, "Oh, if he can do it, I can get some of this shit." Let me tell you something. Yeah. They said, yo, they was like, yo, if the professional is out here swinging and throwing haymakers, yo, it's my turn. Yo, it was like Dawn of the Dead. They were trying to push their way through the fence to get to that cat, man. Listen, yo,
oh man,
they would have been like, oh my God, it's open season.
It is, man. We called the 13. Oh, you had to worry, because you knew the guy cats that was coming in your precinct. If they were showing up working on your tour, you knew what was going to happen. It's going to be a turban party.
Yo, listen, there was everybody at the hospital. Everybody at the hospital. Yo, Chuck, Kev, I'm at the hospital with an eye patch on my joint, talking to the prettiest nurse. Yo, listen, you know what I'm saying? And he in the bed, wrapped up. Yo, his joints is all over the place. Yo, we all getting overtime. Listen, I'm going line of duty. I'm out until this shit swell down.
Man. Man.
Kev,
I'm just saying, man.
Kev, you know, too, your little red hair was
I try to handle my business as one-on-one, because I know once I went to that radio, I'm talking about in the 3-4 precinct, and I called it 13. Forget it, man. Them cats, when they showed up, I was afraid for them. You know, you done effed up now, brother, because I got on this radio. You don't know who's coming. You don't know who's coming.
Yo, let me tell you something. Especially Kevin knows. Listen, I had a fight in the cell, and it was after the Luima thing. Me and this dude was in there swinging. You would have said those little 5 seconds was gone. It seemed like a lifetime, and everybody rushed in there because the Luima thing had just came with the plunger. And you know, no disrespect to him, but now we're fighting in the cells. I've had a fight in the street in the Bronx. Let me tell you something. And you know them Bronx cops, they bust you upside your head in a minute.
Yeah, man. They don't waste no time. They don't waste no time. No.
Let me tell you something. Yo, Rich said, y'all 3 are going to go get your sucker mother fucking shit, go back to work. Nah, we not going back to work, man.
You don't want, matter of fact, you don't want the 3 of us to go back to work. That's the last thing you want.
No, actually, you do. But
no, but let me just say this. I tell you one thing. Yo, the 3 of us went back to work, or you got any retired officers on here that go back to work for 1 month. I bet you for that month, that neighborhood or that block would change, and we would we would have to disappear like Kaiser Soze, because the bottom line is there would be so many lawsuits and stuff that's coming.
They would be.
No, come on.
I mean, don't get us wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we also, based on the fact of how we came through, and some of it had to do a lot with street grooming, right? Some of us came up in neighborhoods where we knew how to talk to people, how to deal with people without having to do something physical.
I mentioned that earlier, Chuck. I mentioned that earlier. Yep.
You know, and I came from, either like, I was born and raised in Harlem. I grew up, dealt with cats in the South Bronx. So that whole environment kind of taught me and put me in a position, I would say classroom 101, to be able to deal with people and understand and feel people out before I even became a cop. I didn't need to be a cop not to understand the dynamics of, community.
I said that earlier, Chuck. I said that earlier.
You know what I'm saying? So that's ingrained in me based on where I grew up. But let's not get it twisted. There's a particular breaking point, right? So now, if you want to throw hands, okay, all right. Now let's get wicked. We can get wicked. We can go for this. But I'm going to try to talk.
I like that terminology, wicked, because let me tell you something. You know what wicked? You know what? Kev, we got 2 minutes. You know what's wicked when we talk about let's say you go. It's wicked. Once I taste my own blood, like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I see red at that point. Everything turns red.
Or like my man John Witherspoon said, oh, listen. After that, it's rapid fire, B. It's rapid fire. It ain't stopping. And listen, you can't tell me when to stop.
Right.
As long as you standing up, you better fall, because I'm swinging a set. Let me just read some comments, and then we're gonna get out of here. Like you said, Roscoe, like I said, Bill is open season. Like you said, Curtis, damn Skippy. He said, Chuck, I would wanted to know what you thought about that female officer. Roscoe said, that's my man, Chuck. He said that's why Chuck Richards is my man. Sharon said, are you raising these kids? Just no respect. I'm sorry. This can't be let go to jeopardizing public safety. Absolutely. Roscoe said, Bill, he said open season, LOL. Curtis said, the Bronx, he knows it. He said at 10:85 is roll call. You better be there. Absolutely. Roscoe said condition correct is central. Yep. Curtis said the Bronx cop whipped that ass. Question later. Yep. Richard Williams said, I'm going to get you, sucker. Chuck, before we get out of here, I just want to ask you, what's your thoughts on that female officer?
Oh, she was weak, man. Unfortunately, she was weak. Especially, I looked at her I'm not trying to make it a personal thing, but her physicality, she was at least, and I'm not going to say 2 times heavier, but she had enough density on her that she could have actually smacked that little young girl in the face and thrown her to the ground if she wanted to, and just freaking handcuffed her to a pole. That she should have just went all out on her and just took care of and subdued her, because she had more body weight on her than she did on that little girl. So she wasn't much of a help at all. And she should have subdued that girl rather rapidly, very quickly. And as far as I'm concerned, the other officer as well, the white officer, him doing the neighborly thing, sir, get your hands off him, or sir, get your hands off him. Because that's what I got. That's the message I got from him, trying to just pull his arm. No, he should have taken out some mace or said something clear, or took out a taser and tased the shit out of that guy in his back. I don't give a fuck where it's going. That taser's going someplace, because he had free hands. I would have told him, taser, and I'd have taken that freaking cartridge off and put it to his body and zapped the shit out of him. Watch that motherfucker shake. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Chuck. No, Chuck. I would have grabbed him by all that long hair, that new generational hair.
Yeah.
And I would have bounced his head off that concrete.
All over the place.
Listen, Kev, I'm sorry, everybody. They would have been like, officer. Now, that's when they would have been like, Officer Force's police brutality. Because I would have bounced his head like Michael Jordan bouncing a basketball. Listen, it's not happening, dude. It's not happening on my watch. Let me read some comments. I think Colin wanted to put something in here, and then we're going to get out of here. Roscoe said, put that female on the TS or in the 124 room. Not every station house, not even station house security. You're right, Roscoe. You know what the funny thing about it? She probably had her hair dead. She was going out to my third and my brunch party. She's probably going to be there on the third Saturday every month, because I don't know where the hell she's at, or she was going to Atlanta for Harlem Week.
But honestly, between you, Bill, and Kevin, if this doesn't put the police department in a position to understand that some type of physical training or hand-to-hand training or some type of martial arts or some type of boxing, regardless of whether lawsuits they've gotten involved in the past. You know, if they're willing to pay lawsuits for people who are suing the city associated with incidents that involve police officers, and some of them very minuscule, and they're willing to go out of their way to pay those lawsuits, then they should be willing to pay for police officers, one, to get trained in some way or another in hand-to-hand combat. And whatever comes out of those lawsuits, because they were properly trained, then fine, you fight those particular issues. Because there's no way that any officer, upon looking at this, if in fact they're put in a court of law, yeah, we have X amount of hours in terms of using our firearm. But they said, well, how many hours do you get on a normal basis in terms of hand-to-hand combat? I don't know what that answer is going to be, but I know it's going to be in a negative. All because of what? The police department is not afraid of putting people in a position of being boxed and getting punched in the nose. I mean, when we came through, boxing was one of the things. They didn't care if you got knocked down on the ground. They didn't care if you got punched in the face. The instructor said, get up, because this is your life we're talking about. You are boxing and fighting for your life. The next guy may be in the next, like for instance, the transit cops, when they ran and they used to work by themselves, the next transit cop might have been 2 stations away. And they had, even, I even remember when you came through the police academy, if you were a transit cop, you went through another 2.5 months, or at least 3 months, in the transit police academy, and all they did was hand-to-hand. That's what it was for, because they knew that.
Let me interject for a second. Chuck, at one time in your career, did you work transit too, right? You worked transit, right? Or no?
Yeah, I was a sergeant in transit.
And in three, yes, I thought so.
District 3, right.
Yeah.
And one of the things that once they went through the academy, they went to their own transit academy, and in that transit academy, the only thing they were taught was hand-to-hand combat, because they knew that most transit cops rode the train alone, and they had to give them additional training outside of the norm of what the police academy gave them to be able to encounter and fight people, or be able to subdue people by themselves while they were on the horn, because the next transit cop could be 2-3 stops away. And at the time, they didn't have vehicles, so you had to wait for somebody to take a couple of trains to get to you.
Yo, listen, let me just tell you something. I'm telling everybody right now in the RTC world, I'm gonna make some calls tomorrow because I've had enough of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm making some calls. I'm gonna be like, yo, bring me back just to teach somebody something, because I've had it. Listen, give me 1 month with the new academy class. I've had enough of this shit, because the bottom line is I can call in some vets. I can call in some real martial artist cats that's more pronounced than me. But listen, trust me, if they get a little taste of Bill Foster, they be all right. They can have a nice career. But I call in some real senior cats in the martial arts world and put a stop to all this BS, because this is buffoonery. Let me hold on, Kev. I'm gonna close out.
Last one. I know who can change it all, Bill.
Who? Oh, Jesus Christ! No, he can't. Yo,
I know who will bring back Lauren.
Yo, he about to get his ass handed to him on January 6th. He about to get his ass handed to him on January 6th. Let me read some comments. We about to get out of here. Hold on. Let me just read some comments. Y'all cats are hilarious. Yo. Yo, Roscoe. Yeah, okay, exactly. Colin said, this is being recorded. I tried to warn you guys that a few members from CCRB are we're on this call tonight. Yo, Collins, I can't listen. I'm retired. I don't care what the fuck they do. This shit.
She's over.
Yo, listen, what? Collins. Ask Collins. I want them to see what I would love to bring them on the show, Collins. Please, next week. I would love to know their thought process on this from the CCRB aspect. Rich said, yo, he could have just broke one of his finger. Vera with the wonderful last name, Foster. She said the female cop should have stepped on her foot. Shoes, beat, slippers any day. Absolutely. Yo, let's mess up that pedicure. She stop it. Shout out to Mo Weathers in the building, former narco brother. He said, listen, we come from a generation with the hands, but think about if they don't fight, yeah. Roscoe said New Jack got to learn how to kick ass and take names, period. Yo, Stefania says, I'm so weak. Y'all laughing, but he could have very well win, guys. Yo, y'all are hilarious. Absolutely. We just keeping it real. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Foster, with my man, Chuck Riches, my man, Kevin Branzetti. We're going to get out of here. Chuck, give us some love. Kevin, give us some love, man. Go ahead, Kev.
All right. Yeah. Well, look, it's a tough subject, but we had some laughs about it, right? We were able to talk about something, and that's always what we push. We got to be able to talk about tough subjects. Sometimes the subject goes the other way against the cop, and sometimes it goes this way. It's not an easy job. It really isn't. You know, and if you've never been out there, if you've never stood on the street and tried to put someone in handcuffs, it's not simple. So I'm a big fan of trying to always give them the benefit of the doubt. With that said, it's still about this. It's about talking to each other. So take the time, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, and try to listen to what they're saying in their side of things. With that, be safe. Have a good night.
Hey, look, you know, brother, it's you know what? Unfortunately, what's been lost throughout the course of society is just mutual respect. You know, there was a particular point when we were growing up where, you know, the youth respect their elders, the youth respected authority, you know, and there was a balance. And yeah, there are certain particular points in times where, yes, authority was excessive. And I'm not just talking about in the police department, sometimes in the school system, whether it be in a religious system, and I get that. But we always have what you call a margin of error, right? There's going to be a margin of error because as human beings, we're imperfect. We make mistakes. And we all have to understand that. You can't look for anything to be perfect because as human beings, we will make mistakes. But within that margin of error, there's always that possibility of us being able to, within a dialogue and being able to meet each other at the table, to make some changes and to be able to address those problems. And unless it's through communication and respect of one another, that's never going to happen. That's never going to be possible. So more importantly, that's what's the basis and the foundation of community. And as far as I'm concerned, respect is the first and foremost thing. And if we can get back to the roots of what that is, the grassroots of community and respecting one another, I think that we'll be able to conquer a lot of issues, a lot of problems. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I talk to you like a man and you try to speak to me and try to put your hands on me like a bitch, I'm going to knock you out. It's simple as that. That's all I got to say.
Word.
I'm going to knock you out. All right. It is what it is. Because that's just the balance of nature. Like any human being or any living being, right? You have certain animals that dominate the forest, right? Or dominate the jungle. It's about balance, right?
Straight walls, baby. Yeah, exactly.
Like the balance, right? In terms of just human nature. So that being said, we have to understand that we have to value each other and respect each other as human beings. And when we have opposing issues, let's come to the table like human beings and talk. But if you're going to go to the hands, and guess what? If my kung fu is better than yours, then I'm sorry. But don't now all of a sudden, when all is said and done, you're going to go home and get a gun because unfortunately, you know, my shit was better than yours. And now you want to take it another step. And that's where we're at right now with this particular society. And unfortunately, that's the mindset of a lot of these young kids. And we need to start to go back to the grassroots of reaching these young kids in terms of early intervention or understanding, hey, if you get your butt kicked, it is what it is. All right. Doesn't mean you can't be friends. Because I know for a fact when I grew up, most of the cats I either kicked their butt or they kicked my butt. They're my best friends now. I mean, I don't know what happened to that, but they're like what I say, some of my closest friends because we went through the trenches together and we understood what it is. And now at this particular age, we see the value, even in something as simplistic as that. Putting ourselves in a position to be opposing, but understanding that we fought over something, but we end up still being friends because, yeah, in my neighborhood, we may have fought each other, but we ain't nobody else come from some outside neighborhood to violate us. I don't care if I have a beef between you and I, but if somebody else came from the outside, once again, community, foundation, respecting one another. And now you coming into my neighborhood, you got to respect the people and the individuals that live here as well. So I say that to say that we need to get back to that. How we do it, I don't know. So to some degree, it's like Pandora's out of the box, and it's hard to put that genie back in the bottle, man. I don't know how to do it, and I wish there was an equation or some mathematical, diaspora where we could just look at it and punch in the numbers and get an answer. It's going to take us as human beings to reach back in some way or another and bring everyone together as community to kind of get that back on the map. And it ain't gonna be based on Trump either.
Yeah, don't bring that shot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't bring that little dog thing he got with that Trump thing. Outside of that, man, look, peace, outside of that, man, peace and blessings to everyone. You know, show some love to the people that we got.
Oh my God. Yo,
all right.
let me just say this. Let me tell you something. As like Chuck said, an ass whooping will bring some humility to you. So listen, it will do that. You also said too about, like I said, in the neighborhood. Listen, you get some act right, or change your thought process too. Also, too, listen, police your kids, man. Like monitor your kids. Look, Kevin with these little damn dolls, little Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell. He makes me laugh. One of my favorite movies, Step Brothers, but that little L shit and that Trump thing I can't work with. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I appreciate you all. We appreciate you. We out of here. Listen, we see you Monday.
Sorry, man. Sorry for coming late. Really sorry.
No, it's all right, Chuck. You might be at the B place tomorrow for Ike, right? I spoke to Ike. Yeah. I might try to make it that. Kev, get out of here. Get that red hair.
My kids.
You know what I'm saying? Your doll face.
All right, brother. Have a good one, Kevin.
Yo, Kevin, burn that little Trump doll.
Yeah, burn it. Yeah, burn it. Yeah, put it
I'm
on
gonna
fire.
have so much fun with that over the next few months.
I know you are, brother. I know you are. Good night, everybody. Yo, Real Talk. I appreciate y'all.
All right.
Oh, shit. That's hilarious.